If one of the reasons that you think getting a corporate contract is not for you because it's too complex and it's going to take too much time, in this video, I'm going to sell you on the fact that getting a corporate contract is actually quick when you know how to do things the right way and when your timing aligns. So let's first dive into this myth. Most people won't go after these contracts and they will tell you that it takes a board of directors to get a contract approved. And that's just simply not true. I've never seen a board of directors, unless we're talking about a nonprofit, and it would have to be a pretty sizable deal, or either a smaller nonprofit that may have just a few members. And then, of course, the board of directors would get involved with that. But it doesn't take that. It doesn't take, 6 to 12 months to get a deal closed. It doesn't take complex red tape to break through in order to close a deal. Now, can those things happen? There is no absolute. Of course, they could happen. But that's not the commonplace of getting contracts, especially for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Most of us are not coming to the table, never have met an organization before, proposing some $1 billion merger or something that's going to need to be signed off all the way up to the chain, right? Most of us are pricing deals between, sometimes 5,000 if it's just something one-off workshop, show up, do your thing and go home. Of course, up until 7 figures, right? But that's typically after there's been some conversation, like there's been some things going on. And even then, if a company is planning to spend $1 million on something, they've already gotten the approval to do so. So, I don't want to get too far into the weeds. My goal here is to speak to you because people are telling you things or saying things or completely saying don't do corporate at all because they don't have experience doing it and they haven't found the way. I don't want you to get caught up in that. So, I just stopped by to tell you what the simplified way is, that not only I've done it, but other people who know this space do. Let's break it down. First things first. You go where people are already spending money with what you do. That's one way to make this super fast. If you have to convince, if you have to tell people why they need what you have to offer, then yes, that is going to take more time for them to get everyone on board who needs to sign off on something brand new that they've never thought about purchasing before. Not a good way to go at it. Go where they're already spending money. This is why I show my clients low-hanging fruit ways that they can work with corporations. And when I say corporations, I've said this before, but I'll say it again just in case you're new. That is for-profit organizations, that's nonprofits, that's universities, K-12 entities, right? B2B entities, organizations that already have an establishment that you're selling to. So corporate is the umbrella, but many organizations operate as a corporate entity and you have opportunities in all of those lanes. So anyway, make sure we're clear there. Where they're already spending money. Low-hanging fruit looks like universities. Like I said, one of the easiest ways, if I'm working with someone who doesn't have much corporate experience, who teaches, coaches, like already has workshops and things that they have taught successfully and gotten results, I'm like, universities are going to be a good fit for you. That way you can get started, get in the muscle of how to sell, how the conversations are going. These people are typically very warm, welcoming, and it just is a good experience for those who just want to get started. However, I do have people who have connections inside of corporations and we leverage those connections, which again, another low-hanging fruit. If you've been in this space for a while, if you come from corporate, or even if you're a coach and you've worked with individuals who have 9 to 5s, you have leads right in your perimeter that you're not even looking at. Most times, people don't even recognize how many warm connections that they have. That's another way to move things quicker. If you already have some connections, I know most people will be like, well, I don't have any. I'll be willing to tell you, there are few people that I know that I've worked with that have real experience in what they do and they don't know anybody. You don't know nobody who works at a company. You don't know anybody that works at a university. You don't know anybody. Like, that's just not true. The thing about it is, it's like, oh, I do know such and such, but I don't know you don't know the conversation, or you don't know how to properly frame what you do now to be applicable to that person. I've seen it time and time again where I'm like, hey, here's what you can be offering to corporations. And then the next breath is, oh, I know such and such, and he's over da da da. And I'm like, yeah, that's your person. So the block wasn't the access. I think that's what most people think. I need to know my way in, or who's the person I need to talk to. Once you get clear on what it is that you have to offer that they already are buying, people will start to pop up in your mind, and that's your low-hanging fruit. So, first things first, sell what they're already buying. 2, look at your warm network. 3, in terms of shortening the conversation and shortening the process, even if you don't have as many contacts as you would like, because I teach people, yes, you have your warm network, but you also want to build in some newer connections in your space using LinkedIn and all those things. Look for people who are already responsible for the thing that you do. This is another mistake. I'll see people say, well, I've sent emails before and I never got a response back. And I'm like, this is so funny because I didn't think of it like this, but now there is like this treatment plan, or what would you call it? Like, I don't know the best word for it. I know I'm going to put a word on this. Protocol. That's a good word. A good protocol to carry people through to see why they may not be getting responses. Because 2 people can send an email, can do the same action and get 2 different outcomes. I've seen it time and time again. And most times it starts with you're not reaching out to the person who actually is over said thing. That's the biggest thing. When I look at it, I'm like, okay, I see why this person didn't respond, because they don't care. This is not something they're over. This isn't the right person that we should be reaching out to. Here are the key words. Here's who we need to be looking at. This is what we need to be saying. And then the other piece is timing. If you only send 1 email and you think that they're going to respond on that 1 or even second email, and if they don't, you're just giving up and looking at me like it's not working, you're already in the wrong space. Most people do not respond till about the 3rd or 4th email. That's just what it is. People are busy. They're not sitting in their inbox looking for you to reach out to them. And just because you may have something that is applicable and something they may be interested in doesn't mean they're going to drop what's important right now to respond. So all of that level setting has to happen if you really want to break into this space and get these opportunities. Would you rather send 3 or 4 emails or do 20 TikToks? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It all takes time. It all takes effort. Nothing is an overnight wake up and just get $1 million. That would be what they call a scam. It's real work. So, but the beauty of it is it's literally just sending emails. It's literally just connecting with people on LinkedIn. You're still doing what you would normally do in your regular workday, except it's planting seeds to yield bigger fruit. That's the whole point of it. So so that's more of like the lead generation side, or, you know, the initial selling side of how to make this move faster. Like, be in the spaces where they're already spending money. Look for conferences, look for events that need speakers if you're a speaker. Look for companies that already hire outside consultants. Get in networks with people who are consultants so you can see and hear what organizations are already looking for those things. Don't go into the dark as much as you can. Avoid that, because if you're already in motion in a stream that's going, you have more opportunities to catch a fish, okay? If you go into, where wouldn't fish be? I don't know. Oh, if you're in a backyard pool, it's water, but you're not gonna find a fish. So you've got to go where the fish already are. So it doesn't make sense to just send random emails in a place where people aren't looking for what you have to offer. That's the equivalent. People will go fishing in a pool and say that fishing doesn't work. And it's like, fish don't exist there. That's why you're not finding one, not because fishing doesn't work. You can't throw a line in a pool and expect to get something. It's got to be in an ocean. It's got to be in a river, like where the fish already are. So that's the one thing. Now, when it comes to actual negotiations, because I've seen this too. Oh, well, it took all of this and then it fell through, da 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 da. Okay, those things can happen. But as I said, most people are not doing deals even to that magnitude for that to be a thing. Now, where people do get this wrong is in the proposal conversations. They are going back and forth. They're doing proposals too early. They are emailing proposals when you actually should be talking live to discuss what's in it, be able to iterate live, get everyone in who has decision-making power to be there so that we can all be on the same page. Like, all of those things matter for carrying a conversation quicker and getting to an answer quicker. If you're just going back and forth via email and they got to go and talk to this person and then come talk to you, that's more and more, that's weeks and weeks of time. If you have a system and a process that you bring people through, you can shorten that time for them to make a decision. Because again, they've already decided, like, you got to get in a place where they've already decided to spend this money. So when they get to you, this is the thing too that just blows my mind when people say it takes too long. I'm like, you don't understand that they've already budgeted to spend this money. These are the deals that we're talking about. Like, I'm not talking about making nothing up out the dust and, you know, hoping to shoot your shot and just continuing to knock on doors until they say yes. I'm talking about companies budget for certain things way ahead of time before they ever connect or reach out with you. This is why they're ready to go, because these things have already been in the works, because they actually do real annual and quarterly planning. They actually have real money and discretionary funds to budget for things. They know how to pull stuff. So there's no whole bunch of back and forth and if they're going to do it or if they're not going to do it. If they're talking to you, it's because they're interested in doing something. Let's just all put that in our minds. If you get to a phone call, it's because they actually have interest in doing something. And last thing that I'll say on this is that we also have to understand what building a pipeline looks like. No, every deal isn't going to be overnight, even though we've had some that have been closed in record time, and I'd love to see it. But every deal is not going to close overnight. But when you build a pipeline, which is what I learned to do in my career, you can close opportunities throughout the year. So you're not worried about, okay, if this took 3 months or whatever the case may be, I'm not worried about it because I have 2 deals that are already closed this quarter. So that's good that that's taking some time, because that's 3rd quarter, that's 4th quarter. These are things that I'm working. So when you don't have your eggs all in one basket, although it may take some time and touch points, you won't even feel it because you've got 3, 4, 5 opportunities that you're working on throughout the entire year. That is what doing this work right looks like. It doesn't look like having one thing and hoping it goes through. It looks like having a few that you're working and that drop at different points throughout the year. Things that are multi-year opportunities that are setting in place now, so that you can be able to truly forecast, not hoping people pay payment plans. That's not a forecast. Truly forecast because you have signed contracts with companies who actually have the financial solvency to pay you. And if they don't, there's legal documents that actually will get you paid. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not knocking any way of doing business. I'm just introducing you to another world, another path that can be on top of what you're already doing. And I don't want anybody telling you that it's too hard, that it takes too long, just because they don't know how to do it. Not true. There is a path. There is a system. And when you get someone, whether it's me or not, or you just do your own research, that understands the strategy behind it, you will see how any company, let me tell y'all, any successful company has both B2C and B2B clients. I know of I don't know why she's coming to mind. When I went to the WeBank event last year at BMW, the keynote speaker there, she's like the mayor. I forgot her name, but I emailed her afterwards. I think she's the mayor of the city that we were in, um, outside of Greenville, where BMW's headquarters is. Anyway, she owned, I think it was like a payroll company or something to that effect. Her payroll company did well because she knew how to do bigger deals. Oh, I wish I could say this better. I really wish I could say this better. She had like $1 million software company, employed all these people in the area and all this because she knew how to go in the room and do these deals. She knew how to craft proposals. She knew how to meet live with real decision makers who could bring her, company on for their software needs. I just want us playing a bigger game. That's what I'm saying. I just want us playing a bigger game. It is nothing wrong, because I do it too. It is nothing wrong with social media, building a business from social media, having I think they'll call it like a lifestyle business or something like that. It's nothing wrong with, making a few six figures online. The way that most people do it, I get it. But I'd love, love for more of us to think bigger, to think bigger than just online, to think bigger than just $1 million, to think about having $1 million deal, like one deal. It's possible. And it's not going to be found just, playing around on the internet. Like, no, we have to be doing, like, that's the way that I see it. This is me letting y'all into what I'm thinking. The way that I'm structuring my own business now is like, I want the coaching programs and stuff that I do just to really be for fun. Like, it's just for fun. People are paying so that they actually pay attention and they get results, not because this is the bread and butter of my business. And I'll tell you, because last year I got burned by that. I really felt like, okay, I'm diving into, the people that I'm working with, the coaching and all the things. I'm just really all into that, right? And when the tide shifts, like, I was then exposed as a business. And so this year I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not doing that. Like, I love the people that I serve. I definitely feel called to still do this, but I have to also split my time with getting bigger opportunities and getting in rooms that don't involve social media, that don't involve launching and all of those things. I have to divert most of my time to that, because I can't be in the wishy-washy, waves of, if this happens, then, people don't make good on their agreements. And then again, there's exposure on our end. Get it? There's nothing that I can be upset with that about. But I personally don't like to be in that position. And so I'm like, well, what do I need to do this year to ensure, like, what needs to be covered is covered. Our commitments as a company are covered, whether people, have whatever pendulum swing happens. We need to make sure that we're covered as a company and can make good on our commitments. So with that, I'm focusing. You see me do more of my speaking stuff and, really focus in on my corporate things, because one, it's what I'm all about. It's always been something that I focused on, but just doubling down on it. Where last year, again, I just felt really called to focus on the people that I was working with, and continue in that, realm of coaching, consulting, done for you. Like, all of that was my focus. And I want the same for you. I want us playing a bigger game. I want us getting into the room. I want us, like, coming into the year where, again, we're not counting on people's payment plans to hit our goals, but we have a signed, deal, a signed contract in hand that already sets us up for an amazing whatever year, it is, 2026, 2027, whatever the case may be. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. That's why I'm like, I want more people to know, because people who don't look like us, this is what they're doing, right? This is what they're doing. They know how to get into other spaces and close opportunities. Huh? They it takes months? No. When you show up at the right time and you know it, this is the thing too. I mentioned timing. I've had this happen to me more times than not. I will tell y'all, literally just closed an opportunity last week based on this principle. And she said the same thing, that timing is everything. When you show up at the right time, at the right place with the right messaging, and sometimes you don't know when that time is going to be. Arva didn't know what time that was going to be when she was reaching out to the university where she booked a contract in 2 weeks. My client. She didn't know she was in the right timing, but she was. When you are prepared, those opportunities happen more often than you think, where it's like, you're here at the right time. This is exactly what we need and exactly what we're looking for. So glad you reached out. Let's have a conversation and do it. Simplicity. Simplicity. When you have a dialed in message that solves a business problem and you're consistently making connections, you will be at the right place at the right time, and a deal will move quickly for you. But if you fumble the ball, if you're still sitting on the sidelines, if you're not incorporating this into your regular way of doing business right now, you're missing out on these opportunities. Less qualified people, people who don't look like you and me, are in these spaces. They don't know nothing about this internet stuff. They don't. A lot of their stuff is not even good, by social media standards, but they're making more money because they know how to play a bigger game. So, with that all said, that's my challenge. You may not understand all the pieces yet. You may not have the strategy in place yet, but the desire is there. If you're watching this video, especially to the end, the desire is there. Don't let complexity kill the desire. Don't let fear kill the desire. Don't let what other people say because they don't get it kill the desire. You find out for yourself. That's what I'll say. You find out for yourself. You try it and see if it's as complicated and hard because people want you to go with their way of doing things, or they just couldn't figure it out, or they saw some horror story and that's what they're basing things off of. Like, you try it. You be consistent with it. You get yourself out there and see how it feels for you, because at the end of the day, it's not important what I think or what anybody else thinks. It's about what your desire is for yourself, how you want to grow your business, what opportunities you believe you should be in the room for, and you should see if that is a fit for you or not. But don't let fear play you, because that's what's happening out in these streets. All right. If you don't want this to end, if you want more on this, go ahead and check out this video on whatever side it's on. On the opposite side, you're going to see the subscribe button. So go ahead and subscribe so that we can stay connected and keep this conversation going. And if you are ready to craft your next corporate opportunity, I want you to go ahead and grab a gift for you that I have in the comments called my Corporate Offer Blueprint. It's no opt-in required, but it just walks you through exactly how I structure that first opportunity and that process with clients that I work with. I pulled that out for you. And so check it out. You'll be able to do it on your own. And then you'll also be able to book a call with me to walk through each step and share more on how we can work together if that is for you. All right, I will see you on the next video. At the very minimum, just try it. If it's for you, you'll know instantly. And if it's not, cool. But I just want us out there and getting into these spaces. All right. So I'll see you soon.